Hello, everyone. Matthew here, and today we're going to be going over my investments. In my first video, I went over my net worth and I kind of briefly talked about my investments, but I didn't really dive into them. So we're going to do that here today. Before we start, I just want to thank everyone for watching my first video. I'll talk about it more at the end of the video, but I appreciate the support. And without any further ado, let's just jump into this. So I have a total of four accounts. Uh, They consist of an individual account, which I just have my normal investing account, and then I have an IRA through Fidelity. It's a Roth IRA, and then the TSP, which is the Thrift Savings Plan. That's kind of like the military's version of a 401k. And then the fourth account is a UTMA. It's a Uniform Transfer for Minors account. I'm not really going to talk about that one in this video because it's not focused on me. It's an account I made for my little sister. But if you guys want, I could talk about that in a future video. Basically, just an investment account for minors. Once they're 18, they can take control of it. Just using it as like a teaching lesson and stuff like that. All right, so let's dive into the individual account. So on the screen right now, a lot of numbers, very confusing. You guys can follow my mouse around if you get lost or anything like that. So let's start from the top. All right, so on this left, it tells you what the stock tickers are and what they consist of. So LMT, that would be Lockheed Martin. And keep going, we don't need to worry about this. So right here, this would be the total gain and loss. So I've gained $351.49. That is the current value, the percentage of the account, how much I own, and this is how much I bought it for, just to get everyone on the same page going over that. So I'm going to skip to the bottom real quick. The current value of the account is $35,814.01. And that consists of Lockheed Martin, which the current value is 6,851 and 42 cents, and then Northrop Grumman, $6,491 and 84 cents. So those two make up around 40%, a little under that, of my portfolio, which right now I think is too high considering their individual stocks. So I'm going to focus on putting more into ETFs in the future because I don't think I should have that much in individual accounts, or sorry, individual stocks. All right, moving down to the next ticker, we have SCHD, which is Schwab's U.S. dividend ETF. I just invested in that recently, the $792. I did that, I think, like 3 days ago. The reason I put money into that is because I'm trying to learn about dividend investing more. I've seen a lot of videos talking about it, and it doesn't seem too bad from what I've seen, but I know there's a lot of people that argue over receiving dividends versus like the value of the stock just going up. So just kind of putting my foot in the water and learning about it on my own. I can watch a million videos, but until I do it, it's not really the same for me. That's just how I learn. All right, next one we have is Take Two Interactive. So that's basically Rockstar. I invested in that with one of my buddies last year. The reason we did it is because GTA 6 isn't out and there's been a lot of hype around it. So we got in early. So hopefully once GTA 6 comes out, that goes up a little. But I put 1,500 bucks into it, and as you can see right now, it's at 1430. So down about 70 bucks. It's been way lower than that, so it doesn't really bother me. Like I said, like this one was kind of a gamble, just kind of having fun and playing around. All right, next we got the meat and potatoes of the account, VU. Everyone knows VU. Basically, it's a Vanguard index fund that follows the S&P 500. I have $16,104.61 in that, and that makes up around 45% of my portfolio. That one, as you can see, definitely like top performer in this portfolio. So, like everyone says, everyone doesn't matter how good of an investor you are, everyone's just struggling to get the same return as the S&P 500. I mean, you can see that right here. Like none of these have plus 8%. All right, next one I have is VXUS. That's Vanguard's total international stock index fund. And basically, that's just the stock market not in the US. So, any international funds, it's nice to have that little, diversity in your portfolio. Say the US market is down one year, but, other countries are up. You want to take advantage of that. Right now, I only have $4,141.84 in that, and it's about 12% of the account. I'm going to work on putting more into that, as well as VU. Obviously, like I said, I don't like how I have too much into Lockheed and Northrop Grumman. I got a pie chart I made in the next two slides, sorry, and that'll kind of give you a better picture of what the portfolio looks like. Like this right here is a bunch of numbers and it can get confusing. Pie charts, they're the shit. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Before we move on, actually, right here you can see the total gain and loss, $1,576.29, and that's about 5%. All right, moving on. This is just kind of an overview of the account balance. Just so you guys know, I'm making this video while the market's open, so I got these screenshots from it might change a little bit. So the balance right here, 35,797.93 cents, or sorry, 93 cents. And then the overall return of this account so far has been 14.61%. It's pretty good. I mean, I like where it's at. I hope it could stay at that, if not more for the the rest of my life. So we'll see. Yeah, and then the return also $2,478.15. This is kind of just a quick overview so you guys could see another way of seeing it. I like having multiple visual tools, like looking at a bunch of numbers, messing with my head. And here's that pie chart I was talking about. So VU right here, big chunk, 45%. And then we got in these individual stocks, Take Two, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, which adds up to around, 35%. Not a big fan of that. SCHD obviously small because just invested into it. And then VXUS, that's at 12%. I kind of like where it's at right now. I think I'm going to try and keep it around like, 10 to 15% and then have VU jump up probably, I mean, shit, even to like 60 or 70%. I really want VU to be the big hitter in my portfolio. If I got any of this math wrong, don't blame me. You shouldn't be doing math in public. All right, moving on from the pie chart. That kind of went over the individual account. Pretty brief, but like I said, it's nothing too crazy. I mean, it's VU and then Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman. I don't really have anything too crazy. I like to not worry about this, and I don't want to be on my phone every day like, oh no, like the stock went up, stock went down. I'm really big fan of ETFs and index funds. All right, so moving on to the Roth IRA. As you can see, only VU. It's all VU right now. I think eventually I'll put VXUS into it, and then, super far down the line, I'll probably add some bonds. But for now, it's just VU, and that's how I like it. I think this next year, when I can invest the $7,500 again, maybe I'll put like 1,500 into VXUS or something, and then the other 6 grand is straight into VU. As you can see, though, it's paying off. So right here, total gain and loss. I mean, we've gained $4,834.78 for a 22.23% gain. That is really good. I hope it stays at that. Like I said, 100% of the account pretty much. This is just what I got from they paid me out. I need to reinvest that. I just haven't done it yet. Pretty cookie cutter. I mean, the my Roth IRA is just one. It's all into VU right now. Eventually, like I said in my last video, I have a plan to diversify, but that'll be for next year when I can reinvest into this. And then here you go. We got the overview of the account right here. So here's the balance again, $26,663.46. And then right here, another number. Let's see if that's actually the same. 658. Yeah, so a little different. Like I said, the market was open when I was doing this. And then our total return is 17.03%. That is really good for $5,177.38. I will take it. I've only been investing for about, I think, a year and a half now. I started December 2024. So, I mean, this is pretty good, I think. Obviously, like the more money you have, the more you make. So, I didn't start off with too much, like, but shit, $5,000, gained. I didn't have to do anything. I'm fine with that. All right, and now we're jumping into my TSP. So this is going to be a little different of structure because it's through the Thrift Savings Plan instead of Fidelity like my other two accounts. So right here, closing balance, that's just the total balance I have in the account. So 17,983 and 96 cents. The reason it's different down here is because I couldn't filter it to July 21st for some reason on the account activity. So this is to July 21st, and recently I had a 2-week drill. And whenever I do my drills for the Marine Corps Reserves, I have all the money I get paid go straight into this retirement account. So it updated on to the 21st, but it hasn't didn't update to the second. So that's why you'll see a little difference in the closing balances. So overall, it puts my return right here, 93.85%. That is insane. Uh, I'm not sure exactly how they calculate the thrift savings plan with the matches and the auto 1%, but 93%. I mean, shit, if I could keep it at 100% every time, that would be great. Just so you guys know, this is my total return from May 26th, 2022. So that's why it's definitely a little higher than my Fidelity one, because I opened my Fidelity one in 2024, December, so pretty much 3 years later. And the reason it's May 26th, 2022, I joined the military in November 2021, but they changed the Thrift Savings Plan website. They created a website and all this fancy stuff in 2021. So I actually can't go back to before that, but that's right here. It has my opening balance of 700 bucks. So I only had 700 bucks in it from November 2021 to May 26th, 2022. So not a super big deal. Anyways, enough rambling. Let's jump into this. So right here, you can see I've put in $6,716.42, and then my employer has matched 3,225.06. I believe the match is 4% right now. I have 100% of my paycheck going into it, but when I was active duty, I had 5% for about a year and a half, and then I bumped it up to 10% for the rest of my contract. So that's why the match kind of varies. You know, I can't get the exact, like if you calculate it, you're not going to be able to. Going on to the auto 1% for 2 years, that would be $1,253.52. And then Roth conversion out and in, you don't really need to worry about. I believe that the match in the auto percent goes in as traditional for some reason. So just recently I converted to Roth. I'm not really sure if I can change that. I'm going to look into it in the future. But my gain right here, $5,086.37. Not too bad. I didn't really know how good the TSP was until I started getting out of the Marine Corps, so didn't really get to take advantage of investing a lot of my money into it. But you live and you learn, and I hope if you're watching this and you are in the military, you bump up your percentage you're putting in the TSP because this thing is a powerhouse. All right, let's go to the next slide. So my TSP is invested into three funds. The C fund, which is the top one, which has a 85% of the mix, that follows the S&P 500. So I put 85% into it. Like I said previously, when you're young, you want to invest a lot into stocks, be super aggressive. So 85%, boom, straight into that. And then I have the S fund right here, which follows the Dow Jones. I put 10% into that. I kind of wanted to see like the difference between the C and the S fund. I know a lot of people like the S fund better, but I mean the C fund, as you can see right here, fund return 95.84%. That's not my return. That's just the total return of the fund for all three of these. All right, moving on. So C fund here, S fund here, and the I fund. That's just an international fund. I have 5% in it. Maybe I'll put more. But yeah, I might reinvest a little more into the I fund instead of the S fund, just looking off the returns. But like I said earlier, it's I fund's kind of like VXUS. It's just the international fund. It's nice to have the diversity just in case the U.S. market goes down one year and the other international markets are up. So C fund, you can see the gain right here, $3,360.66. That's pretty good. And then these ones are obviously lower because they have less percentage, but damn, 1,082 for the iPhone. That's pretty good. So I think I will definitely reinvest that from S to I, but I'll probably keep a little in the S. I don't know. All right, so moving on to the next slide. So the thrift saving plan here was the return we got from that in total 93.85%. That's over the shit about like almost 5 years now that I've had that. And then the average return between my individual and my IRA was 15.82%. That's pretty good. And then adding those together, that is a total of $80,000, sorry, $80,445.35 that is working towards me. Let's put a little spin on that. Oh yeah. Nice little spin. So that number is important to me because that is all money that is buying me time in the future. That is money that is working for me right now that that will save me time. Like that's time with my kids, time with my family that I won't have to worry about in the future the more I put into that. Because eventually my goal is to have this money just, paying me, making money for me. So, like I said in my first video, that's my biggest goal here with financial freedom is just not having to worry, having the stability, buying my time back with my family and stuff like that. If you have any questions about uh, my portfolio or anything in general, just throw in the comments. But that's pretty much the end of going over my portfolio. Let's move on to the next slide real quick. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about the support recently on that first video. So we got 68 unique viewers, which shit, I don't even know if I know 68 people. So if you send it to your friends or if you're someone that doesn't know me and that's your first time seeing me on the video, thank you for your support, especially if you're a family or friend and you're watching the whole video and you make it here. Like I really appreciate you guys for supporting me and being with me on this journey. Um, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say about that. I hope on our next video or on this one we could get to 69 viewers, nice funny number. All right, that's pretty much it. Thanks. Peace.